kids cardiac. Catch me in the Muni where the party at. Dog pound, turn up with the elf up on my starter cap. Brought him back, boy, we from the land and we proud of that. Louder man, front to the back, here we go, I got him shouting that. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Let's go. Game on the line, Joe Thomas, I promise. Jim Brown running through opponents, how I got this. I return like Josh Cripps. Hand for the mini, got the dog pound jumping. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Stand up. Here we go, brownies. Let's go.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Well, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Here We Go Brownies podcast, live from downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Ray Showdawg is joining us from Youngstown, and Hayden Grove is joining us from his travels back from Southern California from The Voice, and he's joining us, I believe, from St. Louis, Missouri tonight. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, I'm in St. Louis at the moment. Layover to Cleveland. We're leaving here shortly. So
nice. Well, appreciate you obviously being able to jump on, talk football, talk music, talk life, right? I mean,
yeah,
you've kind of had a whirlwind 6 months of your life kind of turned upside down from being sports and singing on the side to jumping completely into music and taking the leap, which is, you know, we all make big changes in our life, and sometimes you just have to do it, and you did it. So first and foremost, let's update people. Take us on your journey a little bit, where you've been, obviously, and then we'll get to where you are and why you're coming back from LA.
Yeah. About a year ago, I flew out to LA for the first time. Not first time ever, but for the first time, because I was going to be part of season 27 of The Voice, and there were a lot of processes I had to go through and things I had to do, and we ended up filming the blind auditions in July, and then went back again to do the battle round, and obviously I was eliminated in the battle round to Lucia Flores Wiseman, who actually finished in 4th on the show this year. Yep. So pretty amazing run by her. She's a wonderful singer and a wonderful person. But I just wanted to I wanted to come back to the finale just to support, the friends that I made. I mean, I really, really made some incredible friends, which is such a blessing. And Adam David, who won the show last night, is from my original hometown of Fort Lauderdale, and we, bonded over that, and we became really close. So it was an amazing experience. And yeah, I took the leap. In February, I left my job at Cleveland.com, and I'm doing full music now, but I'm glad to be a fan again. I get to be a fan and wear the brown and orange and the blue and red and wine and gold. So still very much involved in watching Cleveland sports, and very much involved in being a fan and wishing the best for all these teams.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, Cleveland sports is very intertwined with who we are as a culture, right? At the end of the day, and we like to support our teams passionately. I know the first time that I met you was on Larry's bus, I think, or something similar to that. You were down there doing your annual down to the Muni lot, grabbing people, getting a sound bite, and then going back to Cleveland.
Weekly, not annual, weekly.
Right. So, and as you know, I was coming in from Boise, and, I've run into you a time or two. But music is an interesting thing, and we were just talking about that. And, one of the questions I think a lot of people, since you've done this journey, and then I'll have Ray ask a question next. But do you have anything, obviously you do Elvis, by the way, I just sidebar, my mom absolutely loved Elvis when I heard you talk about that. I grew up in a house where Elvis Presley albums my mom was all about Elvis. So that kind of was near and dear to me when you mentioned Elvis, because I grew up just loving Elvis. But obviously you're writing some music, you're thinking about dropping some stuff. Tell people what they may be able to see in the next several months from Hayden.
Yeah, we have a couple things in the works. Something's already done. We're just waiting for a specific date to drop it. And then I've been writing some original music, more pop based, and definitely has a jazzy vibe. That's my style. But definitely wanted to write some original stuff that is near and dear to me and to what I've experienced in my life. So I've written some songs that I'm excited about. Now it's just about getting in the studio and getting them done, and then hopefully by the the end of the summer they'll be out. But I'm not
That's
trying to rush
exciting.
them either. We want to do them right and make sure that um, make sure that they're done in a way that I'm proud of. So yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm looking forward to doing this chapter and going full go at it, because when I was with Cleveland.com, I loved my job at Cleveland.com. I loved covering the Browns. I loved being a part of the Muni lot. Ray knows I was down there all the time, and I loved the people that I met there. And I love covering the team, but I just felt like if I was gonna, I was kind of sick and tired of, not sick and tired. I was kind of just, I felt bad that I felt like I was only giving half to each,
Huh.
and you can't, in my opinion, if I was going to get anywhere musically, I couldn't give half to music. So
Fair.
that's the goal now. And who knows in 5 years whether it'll be back to doing half or doing three quarters or whatever. Just taking it day by day.
Well, I was gonna say real quick, and then I'll let Ray jump in here. I like the pop thing. That's new, right? That's gonna be exciting to hear some
Yeah,
pop stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah. So there's one of them has a little. I mean, I think I have like 3 or 4 songs in the queue, and there's like 1 or 2 that I'm really, really, really excited about, and the other 2 we're kind of tinkering with. But yeah, I mean, just it's kind of I'm actually writing with my with a guy that was on season 26. And he's also kind of a young crooner kind of guy, and but
nice.
he kind of writes more like James Taylor stuff. So our vibes are kind of he's helping me out a lot because I have a lot of ideas. I just don't know how to kind of put them
Yeah.
into make them work. But he's helped me a lot. So yeah, I would say poppy with some little bit of jazz element, a little bit of like soul element, a little bit of Motown. So
Nice.
yeah, so working on it.
Very cool. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh no, I was just going to say, earlier I mentioned to you, Hayden, that how proud I was, but I didn't know that you were leaving, that you left Cleveland.com, because I can remember Hayden when he was just a blogger, and he was always in the community lot, and he was always blogging, and from that he turned that into an actual job at Cleveland. So I already know if you're going full time music, I'm waiting for the hits.
Well, I hope, man. I mean, I promise you, I'm working on them. I promise you, I'm writing at least 2 or 3 days a week, and it's just a matter of getting in the studio for some of them. But we were talking earlier beforehand, like I would love to, I'd love to do an album, but albums really aren't the thing anymore. Also, I would love to do a Cleveland kind of song. I'm trying to
Yeah.
work on that. I don't know, I know we got My Town, we got Cleveland Rocks, and all that stuff, but like, yeah,
I'm your guy for that. I'm your guy
All
for
right.
that.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. That's why I'm here,
Yeah. Nice.
for help.
Yeah. So yeah, Hayden, we'll switch gears a little bit here. Browns had a pretty remarkable draft. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I don't think the NFL saw what happened at this NFL draft happen. I actually got to go up to it, so it's kind of wild to see it in person. Kind of how
Well, you were in Green Bay.
Yeah. So,
Very
guess who
cool.
I went with? Well, you get one guess who took a very crazy vehicle up there. Who do you think I went with?
Larry Lorello, baby.
Yep. So, took the bus up there. By the way, the Green Bay people had never seen anything like that, so they thought that was wild. Of course, they wanted
Really?
to check.
I feel
were.
like they're wild fans.
Well, they are wild fans, but when that thing pulled in, I can't describe it, but like 30 or 40 people just converged on the bus, and like they were like, "What the hell is this thing? We got to go check it out." But
Yeah.
so we went up there, but the Browns ended up taking 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, a tight end, a linebacker, the defensive guy from Michigan, Graham. But
Yep. Mason Graham.
yeah, Mason Graham. But the buzz is all about the quarterbacks, right? There's now technically 5 quarterbacks in that room. We went from having a cupboard of none to a plethora of quarterbacks, which I would rather have more than less, because it also brings out great competition. But you've seen a little bit of the mini camp for the rookie mini camp. Give us your thoughts on what you see the guys slinging it out there and kind of what they've been doing out there.
Well, yeah, I haven't been out there. Obviously, I haven't seen anything. I mean, I left my job in February, but what I will say is I'm obviously still very
Yes.
close to a lot of the people who are there, and a lot of mixed opinions. I think it depends on who you talk to. I mean, I've talked to my good buddy Scott Petrak from the old Chronicle Telegram, was saying that maybe Showdawg was better, and Zach Jackson from The Athletic was saying that Shador looked better, and then Tony Grossi from ESPN Cleveland says no, Dylan Gabriel, and there was a couple others that said Dylan Gabriel. So like, it's just a matter of opinion. It really is. That being said, Cleveland is we love our quarterbacks, man. We need one. We haven't had one since Bernie. Obviously, Baker was very close, but they pulled the plug a little early, in my opinion, on that one. But
Yeah.
Cleveland is so quarterback starved, and that's why it's a quarterback league. I think that's what the reality of the NFL is right now. You look at the elite teams; they all have elite quarterbacks. They have Lamar Jackson, they have Josh Allen, they have Joe Burrow, they have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's what it's all about. And it's for a town that hasn't had winning football. They're just looking for that winning quarterback. So we're hoping that if these guys aren't it, we got to figure it out, because next year the Browns could have a top, they could have the number 1 pick overall, and there's plenty of good players coming out next year as well.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, this schedule the Browns have this year, which I think is just crazy. We go from having one of the worst records to one of the toughest schedules this year. I'm like, if you look at the teams that make the playoffs, it's typically the teams that have a good schedule or a more reasonable schedule to get through the season. But I guess for me, I'm just a little perplexed, some of the things that have come out, that they're going to start with Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett. And then, it's Flacco. And at the end of the day, this, Hayden, there's a lot of talent on this team. I mean, there's a lot of good pieces still on this football team. I just don't know why you don't put Flacco 1A and then another person 1B if you think you have a shot at winning some games this year, because I think the Myles Garretts of the world and those guys don't come back to just say, oh, we're just going to go through the motions again this year, so we have 2 great top 10 picks. I don't think that's the whole, I don't think Myles Garrett was sold on that. At least I hope he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that, like, if you do go, and I love Joe Flacco. I loved watching him play. Joe Flacco was amazing. I think the problem with after the draft, before the draft, I was like, okay, play Flacco, and then you'll get your quarterback in 26. I think the problem with playing Flacco now is that you drafted 2 quarterbacks, one in the 3rd, one in the 5th. And, you got to see what you have at some point. And, is training camp going to be enough to prove that? I don't know. I think that Myles Garrett knows he's not dumb. He's not. He knows the reality of the team. He knows they have holes. He knows they're not going to compete. These guys aren't naive. Like, I understand what you're saying, that you want to win games, and I think they will start out with Flacco just to see if they can catch fire. But at the end of the day, I think they understand that, hey, we got to find a guy so that we have a little bit more of a plan going forward. I think Myles, I don't want to say that it was a money thing, but like, it just I can't believe for a second that he was like, oh yeah, I'm sold on what the Browns are planning to do. Like, no, like, especially if he wanted to win.
Right. Go ahead, Ray.
No, well, I was just going to say, I was watching the draft, and I was monitoring social media at the same time. And I just could not believe how every pick the Browns fans just lost their mind, like it was the worst thing not just every freaking pick. Oh my God. And it's like, why don't y'all just calm down, wait for the whole draft to be, and then assess the players, and then if you still mad, then be mad, because they did all of that only to come back a day or 2 later. Oh, you know what? This draft wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We can never evaluate a draft until the players play, right? Like,
right.
You can look at a draft. I mean, I remember the days of the Brady Quinn draft and the Joe Thomas and Brady Quinn draft, and we were like, oh my gosh, that's the best draft of all time. You got the best left tackle ever, and you got the best, you got one of the best quarterbacks in 22, and then Brady Quinn ends up being a bust, and it's like, oh wait, that draft stunk. Or like, you get Gilbert in number 7, and you get Johnny Manziel. Oh, that's an amazing draft. Johnny Manziel had this, at that you could, it doesn't, like, Ray is exactly right. Like, let's wait until they play on the field to evaluate. The thing I will say is that, I think that fans just fell in love with the idea of Travis Hunter. I think they were like, man, this guy is, when Andrew Berry's raising the price up and talking about how good that Travis Hunter is, when you don't get the guy and you trade back to get a and I'm not saying that Mason Graham's going to be a bust, but like I personally don't see it. Like he dominated against Ohio State, but other than that, I don't see him being like this monster player. I think he'll be a very good player. I think he'll be like a nice, piece, but like number 5 overall, you want to get like a difference maker. I don't see him being that, but that doesn't mean that won't happen. So I think it was just the fact that, they kind of went with a guy that was a little bit more unheralded.
Hey, so real quick, Hayden, what makes you think? Why do you think he's not going to play? Is it the soft? Is this the soft Pillsbury Doughboy body, or is it something else?
Mason Graham?
Yeah.
It might be a little bit of that. I would say it's probably more so. Yeah, I'm coming with. I don't know. I would say it's more so just the vibe I get, and I could be very wrong. It seems like he's a really nice guy, and like I don't think really nice guys play really well on the defensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like, just my opinion.
Yeah, those guys that have to have a little bit of as Ali would say, a little nasty in them. A little nasty in them.
Is that the right one? Hold on,
All right,
sorry.
Hayden. Well, Hayden,
Yeah, I'm gonna get going. Yeah.
Yeah,
You say
this one.
safe travels, buddy.
All right.
Thank you guys.
See you back in Cleveland. Go Browns.
Thank you guys. God bless. Take care.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was Hayden Grove joining us from the airport in St. Louis, Missouri, as he's coming back to Cleveland. I'm excited to hear. I like those whole ideas of the pops hits. That's a little. That's what you do is you try to expand your genre and go a little bit outside of that, right? So it's pretty exciting for him to do that. Real quick, guys, we're going to have a word from our sponsors over at Mr. Hero.
SOS, I could use a hero right about now. My faith in love is upside down. H-E-R-O, where do we all go? SOS, I could use a hero right about now.
Mr. Hero's turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years in celebrating what we do best. Thanks, Ohio.
I crave a hero.
My hero.
I was to say, Ali said Ali loves that jingle, by the way. Guys, check him out. I believe over 100 locations in Northeast Ohio. By the way, all kinds of great sandwiches. Obviously, you've got all the different amazing sandwiches they have there. But what I was going to say is the family 4-pack is we're giving that away every week, a family 4-pack to someone to feed their family. So we'll put that out on Instagram and Facebook, but just an opportunity to get that. And just check out Mr. Hero. They've been great, great food. I think what did I have last night? I think I had nuggets of all things last night. I had some Mr. Hero nuggets when I was over there visiting our friends over at Primetime out in Streetsboro. So by the way, pretty much wherever you go, you can find a Mr. Hero out there. So Ray, let's get into it. Let's talk a little football, a little camp. What do you think? I know we got into that a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to disagree. Here's the thing. I'm going to disagree with Hayden a little bit because again, for the simple fact, Mason Graham, he played great against Ohio State, but he played great against other teams too. Like he's a really good player. I don't think he's going to. I think the Browns picked a guy like that because they see that as a person that can be at that position for the next 6 to 8 years, if that makes sense. If he stays healthy and plays well, he can be a guy that can cog and stop the run and sit there and take some pressure off of Myles Garrett. Again, I'm not saying he's going to be a Pro Bowler. I'm not saying he's going to be any of those things, but he could be a really great player for the Browns. In a position where I think they needed some of that on the defensive line, because here's the truth. The defense is going to have to win some games for us this year. I really, truly believe that. The offense stunk last year. It was like 30 to 32nd place somewhere at the bottom. Did I want more of a transitional player? I would have taken Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, maybe somebody else at that position that could literally make an immediate difference on the field. I mean, skills wise, he's not going to make that skilled position. And, people have brought up the comment. We love Myles Garrett. He's an amazing player, but did he win a football game? right? Did he single-handedly win a football game? There are some instances where he may have, but for the most time, you've got to have an elite quarterback. You have to have some great receivers to win a football game. The defense clearly is going to help you stay in the game and take away possessions from the other team. But if you don't have those skills positions, I don't know. What do you think, Ray?
I mean, I agree with you in part. You want a difference maker or somebody that's going to make a huge difference at that number 5 spot. But see, I think people might just be sleeping on the guy that we took. I just think that the first impression people look at him, he looks soft. When you look at what was the guy that played for the Rams? He just retired from Pitt. Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
So you look at him, and you could tell he stays in the gym. Or you look at Myles Garrett. We kind of want to see that. In the 5th overall pick. So, but the boy's a dog. So, I mean, even though he played for Michigan, and even though he's a little soft around the jiggles, I think he'll be okay.
Well, but think about this. When you play in the National Football League, his training's going to go up. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's at the elite level now, right? So will he trim up? Sure. Will he get more muscle? Yeah. Will he get more weight? He may go out like someone showed where his weight has went anywhere from 295 to 315. So he may become a guy that comes in, builds a bunch of muscle, but ends up being 290, right? Or something to that effect where he really just defines himself as a player. But again, we're judging a guy that hasn't even taken one snap in the National Football League.
2 words come to mind. Dredrick Wills. Came in soft, went out soft. I'm just hoping he's not that. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he's probably not that, but yeah.
No, I don't think he is either. I don't think he is either. So Ray, let's talk about some of these other guys that have obviously came out. The tight end for Bowling Green.
Fannin.
What's that?
His name is Fannin. Last name's Fannin. Yeah.
What do you think of it? I mean, that guy was it for tight ends in college. It was pretty much the entire offense for Bowling Green. Obviously, I got a chance to chat with Njoku yesterday. With Stefanski going more to a 2 tight end set, more of a traditional Stefanski, I think he could be a difference maker in year 1. This guy.
Oh, absolutely. And just he wasn't the best tight end. He had the best catching record of all wide receivers. So the man was a one-man record crew. And wait a minute, and before I don't want to hear that when he played in the Mid-American Conference, he did that against Alabama. He did that against top 5 teams. So yeah, he's a baller. And you match him over there, there'll be bookings. Him and Njoku. Hey, I'm getting it's kind of reminiscent of the when New England had Gronk and I can't think of the kid that went to jail. But yeah, those when they went double tight ends in New England, they were unstoppable, and I could easily see that happening with the Browns. Plus, Stefanski favors the 2 tight ends, so yeah, I'm with it.
And obviously, there's a lot of folks out there that are not particularly happy. I might be in that camp a little bit. Nick Chubb looks like he's ready to play football based on every Instagram drop or feed I've seen of him. But now we have 2 new running backs, including Judkins from Ohio State. What do you think of that? What's your feeling? I feel very excited about the running game this year. The fact that we're going to have 2 young, fresh legs to go out there. And kind of be the 1-2 punch. Just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, let's address the Nick Chubb's issue first. Okay. Nobody has signed him, which lets me know that he's still coming off that injury from last year, so he's not 100%. So I'm thinking that the Browns are just putting those reports out so that if we don't re-sign him, then they already told us that, but However, this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. Once he's healthy, I think, and nobody signs him. Well, I guess we need two things to happen. He needs to get healthy, and nobody signs him. I think they'll bring him back in the fold. But back to the second part of your question. Hey, them two dudes are the dude from Tennessee and the dude from Ohio State. Dogs. And if you don't believe me, just go look at their highlight reel, their college highlight reel. Dogs. So whether and trust me, I'm with every other fan. I want Chubbs back. I want him back. I want him back. I want him back. I want Chubbs back. But if he doesn't,
I know where you got that.
But if he doesn't come back, hey, we'll be sad. But I think we more than made up for it. We more than made up for it with the two guys that we took in the draft.
Okay, we're just going to do real quick a quick shout out to our friends over at Larry Lorello. Listen to this quick message from our friends over at Larry Lorello's.
Here we go, Brownies Nation. Larry Lorello from Lorello Vineyards. Dustin Cook from Here We Go Brownies. We're here to talk a little bit about Here We Go Brownies wine. Dustin, let us know.
That's right, guys. The season wasn't what we wanted it to be, but the wine is amazing. Platinum winning, award winning wine. Here We Go Brownies wine. Come get it here at the winery or go to lorellovineyards.com. And remember, a portion of every single one of these bottles goes to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank to help those that are in need and hungry. That's right. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Woof, woof.
Roof.
All right. So, I don't know if you've watched any of the media lately, the last 48 hours. But Ray, there is quite a fight in the media with the city of Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and the Browns over a stadium. I don't know if you've been picking up on any of this, but it's getting pretty salty. It's getting pretty salty. What's going down? Mayor saying, there's more to the city than the Cleveland Browns. Then he kind of backstepped that today and had a much longer response to that question from the folks over at Fox 8. I got to hand it to the Haslams and their group. They were pretty poignant in their letter to the county, saying, look, we are thinking forwardly. We're thinking bold, big. We're thinking economically this is going to change the entire region financially. And to the point saying cities like Cincinnati and Columbus have been aggressive, forward-thinking for economic development and big ideas, and that's why they're thriving. I thought it was a pretty articulated way to put it. So I'm just curious. I mean, this has gotten a little ugly. I mean, this is not pretty anymore. The gloves are off. People's feelings are being thrown. People's real feelings are now out there for everybody to see. So just would like to get your opinion, Ray, because it's pretty salty out there right now.
Hey, the Haslam basically came out and said, look, this is what we're doing. We don't care if you like it or not, but we're moving ahead with this. I mean, so, and then wait a minute, and that's the response that you're hearing is the reaction from people like hurt feelings because the house was like, we don't care. We're moving forward with this. Hey, and I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Dome.
Okay. We need to take that from the show at some point where you just go dome. We need to freeze frame that 5 seconds. That's awesome. But here's the truth. I come from a city that's growing at the weeds. People are moving there. It's economic development all over the place. I truly believe in my heart that if you bring the dome here, the amount of events that this will bring, the economic viability this will bring to the entire region. It was just the reason it made me think about this was Larry, he's a railroad guy, and he said he was going to a railroad convention of railroad people. And guess where he was going? He was driving to Indianapolis to go do it. Well, where do you think it was at? It was at Lucas Oil Stadium where they were having the convention. So I really truly believe that this dome will not only bring maybe a Final Four, I mean, if we're lucky, a Super Bowl down the road. But I really do think from an economic standpoint, this does change the region. And I know there's a lot of argument out there saying, well, all those businesses that have supported you for so long downtown and how this needs to be downtown. Here's the thing. Cleveland has not developed the lakefront for decades. And shame on them for not doing that, because this is a beautiful lakefront. And even if the stadium is not there, in my wholehearted opinion, they should make it a beautiful lakefront. They should encourage economic development down there with hotels or casinos or development of whatever it may be along the lakefront to go along with public use. You don't need a stadium there to do that. You just don't. And, oh, by the way, the Guardians are still downtown. The Cavaliers are still downtown. There's a new soccer stadium going downtown. So for a place that has 8 games a year, couple concerts, I don't think it's gloom and doom. I just think I don't know. I don't see it, right? And by the way, I live downtown. I am a downtown resident. And I'm like, you're right. Is it buzz and there's a lot of people downtown for 4 hours for a game? Yep. But guess what? Then they're gone. They're gone. They're gone. Then they're going to the suburbs. I also saw a study, and then I'll let you interject here. I also saw a study that came out of Columbus that I think this is very important. And I think Neotrans puts out great work when they drop a story. But what I thought was lost in the story today was that they put out there that there was a poll, I believe, and if I'm misquoting, I apologize, but of the people polled in Cuyahoga County, 59% of the people were opposed to the Dome moving to Brook Park, or moving the stadium to Brook Park of the Cuyahoga County residents. But here's the truth. 70% of the people that attend Cleveland Browns football games don't live in Cuyahoga County. So I don't think that's a real good representation of asking people, do you want to move it or not? Well, clearly 70% of those people aren't even in the county. They're coming from Lake County, whatever county they may be coming from, Lorain or wherever. They don't live in Cuyahoga County at the end of the day, right? But they're still keeping it in Cuyahoga County because it's only moving to Brook Park. So, I want your opinion on that, because I think things get muddy, and you got to look through the mud and just look at the facts at the end of the day.
Well, no, I mean, at the end of the day, the people of Cleveland, and when I say people, I'm talking about the from the mayor and all those, and councilmen and all those council people and all those people. They're going to do everything they can to keep it there. And if they do leave, they're going to want some type of compensation. Because to me, this sounds like this is all about some money. So they're probably going to want the Browns to pay something for leaving or something or whatever. I mean, to me, because listen. They could take where the stadium, where the existing stadium is right now, turn that into a plethora of revenue streams. So it's not like the Browns leaving and they're going to be high and dry. Then you go to Brook Park. Hey, you got concerts, conventions. The IX Center is probably going to be out of there, and because the new Brook Park Stadium is going to take up everything that they were doing as well. So between conventions, concerts, Super Bowls, Final Fours, everything related to sports, everything related to conventions, to me, it's a win-win. So I don't see what the problem is. But everybody likes to posture. Everybody's voice likes to be heard. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, I think the Houses are going to get what they want. Well,
and let's keep this all. I mean, they can't build 100 hotels out there either, right? So, you're still going to attend downtown, right? All those things, right? And I do see Bar's comment here. We do have a convention center. Yeah, I think you'll still have those events at that convention center in downtown Cleveland. I've been to it several times. I think you'll still have those conventions that people want to have here in the city. But at the end of the day, just the amount of economic development. And here's the truth: there's only a handful, maybe 6 or 8 NFL teams that have their team even in their downtown core. like that. I mean, there's just a handful, and we're one of those. But a lot of teams do have their teams in the suburbs. And again, I do see that this could turn into a big time economic development. But here's the thing. I think also taking that stadium out could be a blessing in disguise. And, the leaders may not be able to see that today. But to your point, Ray, you take out all that land now that now can be opened up for development or whatever you want to put down there. I mean, there's a lot of land now, and you can do a lot with that. And by the way, they've already gotten the funding to do the land bridge to open up that to not have that problem getting across from downtown to the lakefront now. So now that that's all open, you just need bold, brave leaders to say, the door is open for business. Come to Cleveland, come build what you want and be a part of our redefined lakefront. I mean, like, that's a thing, right? Like Baltimore did, a lot of these other cities did. Why can't Cleveland? And I think that's what, at the end of the day, the Browns are saying, we're not leaving. We're just going down the road a little ways. It's like we're not skipping town like they did back in 95. It's like, we're just going to the burbs. We're still going to support economic, vitality here. We're still going to, by the way, it's still in Cuyahoga County. So you're still getting tax revenues and reaping the benefits of that. At the end of the day, they're going to get all the, the tax revenues that come from that. But the truth is, here's the truth. A lot of these NFL owners want to have control of the property and the entities that they own. Jerry's World, he owns the parking. He owns everything around it as part of his revenue stream. The Cleveland Browns have a stadium that they rent from the county and the city. They don't get any of the parking. And the only revenue they can get is from advertisers and ticket sales and concessions and stuff on game day. I mean, that's their revenue stream, right? They don't get all the other stuff that comes that a lot of these other NFL teams. And by the way, it's coming. Look at the Commanders are building in DC. Look at that new stadium. I mean, the Bills are building a new stadium. Oh, by the way, that one's not downtown. Last time I checked, it's in Orchard Park. So it's like, it's still going to add to the area. It's still going to add to the economic. I just think sometimes we're afraid of change, and sometimes change is really good, and you just have to embrace it. So, you want to add anything to that, Ray?
Yep. You said it all.
Yeah. All right, Ray. So let's see. Let's get into. Well, yes. Let's talk about this. Ray, you are dropping as part of the Here We Go Brownies family tomorrow night, guys. 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, right? When are they going to
7 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
7 o'clock, guys. You want to check out our new friend of the Here We Go Brownies podcast network, the Super Fan Addicts podcast. That's right. Ray will be hosting this. I'll let him talk about it, but he's got already some great guests lined up. And more importantly, I'm going to let you kind of just talk right here real quick what your podcast is about and how it's what made you want to do a podcast. I guess that'll be my first question. Tell them what type of podcast it'll be and what they should expect from you.
Okay, so real quick, the Super Fan Addicts podcast is, well, first and foremost, there are 12 super fans that were voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So that's what gave me, it's like, okay, there's 12 of us, the dirty dozen. So I'm like, okay, so if there's only 12 of us and we're all scattered across the country, it only makes sense to do a podcast, talking about each individual, the fandom and everything that goes along with that. So that was my mindset when in terms of me wanting a podcast. So that's pretty much the format that we're going to go with. We'll be talking about Browns and all the other teams as well, and all the other sports. So it won't be your typical per se Browns podcast. It'll be Browns and everybody else in the NFL, maybe some NBA, maybe some Major League Baseball, and what have you. So going to have a lot of fun, a lot of other fans coming on to talk as well too. And first and foremost, we're going to be giving away a lot of stuff, people. A lot of stuff, people. So tune into the first one. Come check us out. Leave some comments. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so guys, that will be the Superfan Addicts podcast. You'll be able to watch him live through Facebook. That will be a live Facebook stream tomorrow night. We will share that on our show as well, out to everybody in Here We Go Brownies Nation. But that will drop with Ray tomorrow night. Ray, I'm excited. I feel like we've been talking about this podcast for a year, and I feel it's probably been longer than that. But and Ray, Ray knows we came to an agreement on some other things, and I think we're really excited. This is all. It's funny. Like that's why friends have fun, because you can figure everything out. But no, Ray, I'm excited for you. I know you got some junior fans coming on tomorrow. That you're, some young fans, and how excited they embrace the game and their fandom. And then, like I said, I think it'll be interesting because you're actually going to be able to do other fans, not just Cleveland fans, but as a whole, fandom, and what it really means to be a fan at the end of the day for these folks. Going to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Lake Erie Distillery. That's right. If you haven't checked them out in Willoughby, you got to go check them out. Lake Erie Distillery is right over there in Willoughby. By the way, if you haven't had it, go check them out. But you can also get some of their amazing whiskeys at your local Ohio liquor stores. That's right. Get the Burning River cinnamon flavored whiskey, their straight whiskey, their vodka, their dill pickle vodka specifically, many different things. They have rum. They have it all. But you need to check them out. And by the way, on May 31st, that's right, you just saw our great friend Hayden Grove. He's going to be there live May 31st, chomping it up over there at Lake Erie Distillery, singing for everybody over there. So don't miss that on Saturday, May 31st. Our good friend Hayden Grove is going to be over there. And by the way, it's getting warm here in Cleveland. That's right. Go check out Lady Caroline. Lady Caroline has, by the way, 20% off its tickets right now, which is super cool. So you want to go over there, check that out on our page, 20% off. Use the code to go check them out. Always a fun time with everybody over there, Browns fans alike, people coming to Cleveland. If you have family or anybody you want to invite, that's Lady Caroline right over here. But here's the really cool thing, guys. We are actually looking to possibly, we are going to do this. We're actually going to do a actual cruise, a lunch kind of type cruise, where it's going to be Here We Go Brownies cruise. That'll be a lunch cruise. We're going to give you guys some information about that. For a discounted ticket, we're going to go out there, have some fun on a Saturday, and have people cruise around the lake. That sounds exciting to me. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. Ray, you're going to join us for that, right? For the cruise out on the lake?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Have you ever been out on Lady Caroline? Ray, have you ever been out on Lady?
I have actually.
Nice. Yeah, they have really good food. The plan is to have Lake Erie Distillery and Lorello Vineyards out there doing some wine and whiskey sampling, so that'll be fun, along with some great food, some great fun. And now if we can just get Hayden on the boat, that would be like a trifecta, singing, doing all kinds of stuff. That would be that'd be the ultimate boat trip there, I think. Ray, let's get into, there's a lot of buzz in this city right now for Showdawg Sanders. He has the number one selling jersey in the National Football League, and he's a 5th round draft pick. I got to tell you, man, he's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. You can tell he was raised to be a great man and a great person and a great leader. Let me ask you this: at some point, will the Browns be pressured? And I don't, but like Hayden said, for now, that's the depth chart. The eye test is the eye test. At some point, do you think the Browns are going to have to tip their hand? And from a fan perspective and a lot of other things, maybe make him the starter? I'm just curious, because there's a lot of buzz around him, and bless him, he's tried to push a lot of that away from him and try to focus on football. But no matter where he goes, no matter what network you go on, ESPN, Fox, any of them, he is the talk. It's all about him. And I'm just curious, like at some point, like, what do you think?
Well, I think the proof is going to be in the pudding. If he shows out in training camp and preseason and in the actual preseason games, I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to hold him back. I mean, it's all about the eye test. If he passes the eye test, unless him and Gabriel are just so close. But I don't know. I'm just hoping that there's and at this point I don't even care which one of them it is. I just want a clear-cut winner, somebody that the whole city, the whole fan base can get behind, and we can start winning. But the original to answer your original question, oh no, if he shows up and shows out, they got to start him.
Yeah, and for me, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Everything, and again, I'm not a camp, but everything I'm saying, Hayden brought up a good point. He's not there, but he has a lot of friends that are there, and he trusts their eyesight. And it almost does seem, and again, we haven't seen any of Joe Flacco because this is Joe Flacco removed 2 years from being here last time, right? So I don't know. I just know this. It's going to be a really good. I mean, get your popcorn ready because I think this is going to be fun to watch because I think it's going to be tough for these guys. And we always say cream rises to the top, but I do think the Browns will get the best out of this. Right? Here's the thing: in the past, we signed Deshaun Watson, spent a boatload of money on him. He comes in. He's the proven starter. I mean, he's already given the job, right? Like it's given to him. And then between injury and all kinds of things, we go through 5 quarterbacks, and then it's weird and all that. This is for the first time before Baker Mayfield. Yeah, even before Baker Mayfield, that you have a real true quarterback competition that you don't know who your starter is week 1, period. Like, I can't remember the last time. I mean, hell, I'm thinking here, we may have not had a true quarterback competition since the team came back, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. You draft Johnny Manziel, he's considered the starter, other than who is the veteran in there that was with him. I was trying to think. It's escaping me. The guy that was in there with it wasn't Holcomb, but it was somebody else. It was anyway, but it was the other guy that was in there with Johnny Manziel. But everybody said he was going to be the starter. I mean, he brought it up. All these guys we brought in, they've already been presumed the starter. The Jeff Garcias, the Brady Quinns of the world, the Tim Couches, the job's kind of already been handed to him. Think about that. Like all these quarterbacks that we've ever had come through here, there was already that assumption that was going to be the guy based on what the quarterback room looked at, based on we couldn't find a quarterback in 25 years, so we kept redrafting and repicking one. Remember Charlie Fry? We drafted him. Well, he's our quarterback. I mean, the list goes on and on, but I'm saying we've not really had 4 quarterbacks in a room, and you're like, fight it out, let's go, best man wins. I mean,
well, let's be honest. There's really only 3 because I think Kenny Pickett is going to be the odd guy out. I mean, because remember he was the first guy that we brought in because we didn't have anybody, and then since then we would have brought in Flacco, 2 more quarterbacks. So I just think Kenny Pickett is going to be the I think he's going to be the odd man out.
Okay, well, there goes Kenny Pickett coming on the show. All right.
What's wrong, Dustin?
There goes Kenny Pickett coming on the show. Thanks, Ray. So let's do a couple shout outs from our sponsors real quick. Guys, True Fan Travel, that's right. The Browns, for the first time in a long, long time, are going over to London. That's right. 5th game of the season. Not too far out of the season. We're going to be going over to London, True Fan Travel. Check them out. By the way, lots of other things they're putting together as well. Vegas again, ×2, and Detroit. Those are going to be the 3 games that True Fan Travel is connecting up with your Cleveland Browns. And if you use the code Brownies, that's right, Brownies, you get $100 off your package to London. Who doesn't like $100? By the way, who doesn't like amazing barbecue? That's right. City barbecue with 6 Northeast Ohio locations. You got to love their barbecue. We're going to announce something in June, by the way, guys. We're going to do a barbecue sampling tasting. And I'll tell you where we're going to be doing that from, because that's going to be a lot of fun, doing something very exciting there. And by the way, if you got some great barbecue, you know what also goes great on barbecue? That's right, stadium mustard, the classic, iconic stadium mustard. You can find that in ballparks and everywhere in between, stadium mustard. And by the way, if you're watching the show from wherever you are in the country and you can't get stadium mustard where you live, go to stadiummustard.com and check them out. And to finish up those, by the way, that's right, that is the Greater Cleveland Aquarium in downtown Cleveland. Go check them out. By the way, we're giving away a whole season pass. That's right, a whole season pass to there, and also a $100 gift card to Lady Caroline. I forgot to mention that. So we have a lot of amazing gifts that we're giving away that are coming up. But and Ray, I don't know if you know this, but it is confirmed this summer that it's been asked of the fans. I'm going to do it, but I will do a live broadcast with Allie, and I will be in that Shark Tank doing the show down there this summer from the Shark Tank at the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. Can you imagine the show and there's like just sharks going behind me, just sharks going back and forth? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a wild show. Sharks everywhere.
You're a wild man, Dustin. You're a wild man.
No, I don't know if I'm a wild man. I'm a wild something. But Ray. Ray. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. Let's get into. Let's see what you and I haven't hashed this out a little bit. By the way, I think that the Guardians just finally won a game. By the way, thank God, they won their doubleheader, or their second of their doubleheader. We'll finish the show with this. I think this is really good topical stuff. The way the Cleveland Cavaliers burned out, I don't think a lot of people were happy. I wasn't happy. You weren't happy. Are they going to run it back? Are they going to make a trade? Come
on, man. You already know what they setting this up for. Don't act like you don't know. Even though they've been floating this Giannis for it was ridiculous, for Garland and one of the bigs. I don't know if it was Allen or the other one, but they were talking about those two guys for Giannis, which I would take it in a heartbeat and not even look back. But what I was alluding to was, come on, man, he's coming home again for the third time. LeBron is coming back. Mark it down. You heard it here. You heard it first. LeBron will be back in the wine and gold.
Well, let me ask you this. There are some people that think that's going to happen. One more year in LA, and then he has the final 2 years here in Cleveland. Yeah, that's very interesting. So, by the way, I did want to share some breaking news that I just saw come across my phone. This is probably important to all football fans out there. Indianapolis Colts owner and CEO Jim Irsay just died at the age of 65. The owner of the Colts just passed away. So that's some breaking news that we're bringing to any of our viewers tonight. So we have our hearts go out to the Colts, Indianapolis Colts fans. I don't think that was expected, but the owner of the Colts has just passed away at the age of 65. So our condolences go out to all of Indianapolis Colts fans and their family. That's pretty crazy news, but we'll probably check into more of that after we get off the podcast. So, but Ray, a part of me thinks the Browns are going to make a move in the offseason. I don't, Giannis or someone like that. I just feel like they're going to get a little aggressive. But if they don't and they run it back, I do think that lends to your thought of running it back one more year and then adding LeBron James.
You mean Cavaliers? I said, you mean Cavaliers?
Yeah, Cavaliers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you said in the offseason the Browns. I was like, aren't we in the offseason? But I'm with you now.
I'm sorry. Off season, I think the Cavaliers will make a move, and if they don't, and they do run it back with the same folks that they have, I think that does lend to maybe your point that LeBron could definitely be coming in soon. So I mean, it is an interesting scenario that happens with that, and so it'll be interesting to see how that all comes about. But I got to tell you, just get back to the stadium thing real quick. It's going to be crazy over the next 6 weeks how this all plays out. But I think, well, here, first and foremost, I knew when it was really done. When I knew the deal was done, when they rolled out the red carpet for the commissioner of the National Football League to come to Columbus and talk about the new dome and how it's going to be great for this region. I'm like, okay, you brought out the heavy hitter to come in and like put the icing on the cake. So to me, that was okay. It's done. There's nothing stopping it now. Which here's the thing, like, I don't know, like when it comes to it, and you can interject here, Ray. I think the city just wasn't aggressive enough and came too late to the table in all this. A lot was made of closing the airport or all these things, and I don't know. I'm just curious what your thoughts on this, because I just feel like it kind of came late to the game.
Well, it's kind of reminiscent of 1995 when the city dragged their feet. They gave the Cavaliers a stadium. They gave the Indians a stadium, figuring, oh no, the Browns they'll never go anywhere. And they overplayed their hand. They overplayed their hand then. They overplayed it again this time. So I mean, and I'm thinking the Haslam's are probably looking at that saying, they don't know who they're messing with. Do you know my name is Ray Haslam? Come on, man. Yeah, no. It's city. Whatever the city should have done, it's too late now. The Haslam's to put the foot down, drew the line in the sand, and they're gone. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Could a dome been built downtown? I don't know, but here's what I think the problem is in all of this. I don't think there was, and I think this is one of the most important pieces of this. 70% of the people that attend Browns games don't even live in Cuyahoga County, and they were going to ask, and that was part of that survey, by the way, too. They didn't have the appetite to do the raising of the money that was going to be needed for the repairs. And here's my thing: why are you putting a Band-Aid on something? Right, because you're going to have to repair it and then have to build a new one. That to me seems like a waste of money, to throw several $100 million of taxpayers' dollars at a stadium that's 30 years old. Oh, and by the way, we want a new one, but we don't want it for 10 years down the road. I don't know if Jimmy Haslam's going to be alive in 10 years or 15 years from now to even see the fruitions of it, right? So I think he's like, I'm doing this now, right? I want to be able to see this in my lifetime. And see the dome and stuff like that. And I just think they were slow tracking the stadium or a brand new stadium above the repairs. And I just, at the rate I see the NFL going, the Tennessee Titans with their new stadium, the Buffalo Bills, the Commanders, you name it. The Chiefs are in the middle of negotiating for total almost stripped down of their stadium or a new stadium. The shelf life on all these teams and what they want the shiniest, newest, prettiest toy out there, and they want to keep up with the Joneses. And, the Browns were falling further and further in that, quality of stadium, what they had, and look at Chicago. Chicago's in the same space. They're aggressively moving forward, building. But I mean, and this misnomer that we don't need a dome or whatever, Minnesota built a dome. I mean, Detroit built a dome. Indianapolis, all these teams have built domes. And, a lot of teams now play in the domes. And by the way, I know this, Ray, and you know this as well. Today's players, if you want to attract some high quality players, you have a nice facility in a dome. You have a pretty good chance of getting some of these guys to play here. Because I live in Cleveland, but it ain't a great place to be in the wintertime. It isn't lovely here, but if you could play in the dome and have an enjoyable, and also I think when you do that, it also shows the skill set of both teams, and it doesn't it doesn't lend to, like if it's a crappy field, both teams have to play in crappy conditions, so you don't get a good game. And what was interesting, I heard a quote, and you may have, Ray, you're a historian of the Cleveland Browns, but Jim Brown had a quote about the 64 championship game. And I think he was on the Ed Sullivan show or something like that. And he goes, yeah, we're not going to be able to make it out to that game this weekend. But you know what he said? I hope it's really good weather because I want to be able to have everybody showcase their talents and skills for both teams. And I think there's something to be said about that, right? Like, nobody likes playing in crap at the end of the day, right? They want to be able to go out and have a great game and a clean game. So, yeah, I didn't know the show was going to become the Dome show, but we talked a lot about the Dome tonight. But well, Ray, look at that. It's 8:00. Any closing thoughts, Ray? Why don't you do one more shout out to our folks that are watching tonight, where they can catch you, what time, what platform is the Superfan Show going to be on?
So yeah, tomorrow's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Super Fanatics podcast will be coming at you from this platform. We'll be streaming live from Facebook.
No, your platform. It's going to be coming your platform.
Well, what I mean is your family, within your family.
But it will be coming from the Super Fanatics podcast Facebook page. Correct.
Correct. And I will be sending that out tomorrow for all the people that want to check us out. And then come check us out, and it'll be every Thursday. And we'll be looking to do really, really, really fun, big things.
Well, Ray, officially welcome to the family. You've been a part of the family for a long time, but officially welcome to the family, to the broadcasting network. All right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here. Stay safe, and as always, Browns fans, go Browns.
Go Browns! Roof, 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 roof.